I am back with a YouTube video. I haven't been on YouTube in such a long time. I've just been trying to figure out, like, what is my purpose? What is my God's given purpose? And I just feel like God just want me to, like, continue telling my story or whatever of how I dealt with trauma and how I'm grieving and stuff like that. So I'm really just focusing on my purpose and doing stuff that aligns with my purpose. If you don't know me, my name is Serenity Divine, and I am a book author. The name of my book, the title of my book is A Journey Mostly Serene. Inside this book, it tells my story of how I lost my mom at a young age and my experience and my trauma and how I dealt with grief, how I'm dealing with grief or whatever. So the back of my book says, Serenity Divine isn't just an ordinary teenager. Everyone goes through obstacles in their life, but what she experienced is unimaginable for others. She experienced grief, loss, heartaches, and trauma at a young age. Serenity Divine uses her trauma to help others properly deal with their grief. She learned to turn her grief into greatness. She is an entrepreneur, a leader, and is multi-talented. Take a look into her inspiring story, and hopefully you will learn how to properly deal with your grief. I self-published this book in 12th grade. I am now a freshman at the best HBCU, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. As y'all see down below, I am going to read chapter 1 through 2, and like we're going to talk about it and stuff and like really get into details about the book. If you don't have the book, please go purchase on Amazon A Journey Mostly Serene. I know, like, if you're watching and you don't have the book, I'm telling you, it's going to be better if you have the book. Like I said, I'm in college, so it's going to be a lot of noise that y'all hear. I am sorry. I might be able to, the noise cancellation might cancel out the noise, but if y'all hear some crazy noise or anything, I'm sorry. I'm going to try my best not to get that in here. Y'all, anyways, let's get started. Oh, before we get started, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and comment grief into greatness, y'all, because we finna turn grief into greatness. So now let's start reading. So we have the dedication part. It says, in loving memory of Christina Peak and Sanaya Peak, I dedicate this book to my mother Christina and my baby sister Sanaya. There are angels watching over me too soon. Their tragic and sudden death has impacted my life in such a powerful way. I wish I could kiss them one last time. Then we have the table of contents. You know, it's better if you got the book, like I said. Yeah. So we have the acknowledgments or whatever. I'm saying thank you to everyone. Thank you to my family, friends, God. Okay, so the next page after acknowledgments, it says scans me before you read. So in the QR code, it basically asks questions about your grief, how you deal with it or whatever. And like at the end of the book, it's also a QR code, and it's like an update to see if this book did what it did. You know, I just want to see my impact and how others feel about my book. You know, it's good to hear others' opinions and how your stuff impacted others. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Okay. Grief is defined as the primarily emotional / affective process of reacting to the loss of a loved one. The focus is on the internal intrapsychic process of the individual. Normal or common grief reactions may include components such as the following: numbness and disbelief. Okay, then I have a list of negative coping methods and positive coping methods. It's more, you know, to this list or whatever, but this is just like the primary ones. So we have negative coping methods: partying, use of unhealthy substances. And when I say partying, I mean like overdoing it. You know, you're partying to get your mind off of your grief, off of your trauma, if you get what I'm saying. Use of unhealthy substances, suicide thoughts or suicide, bullying, not sleeping / sleeping too much, overeating / not eating. Positive coping methods: journaling, reading, writing, talking about it, you know, getting a therapist or anything, or even talking to God, and drawing. So in my book, it has journal entries and questions throughout the book, you know. The first one says, are you dealing with grief? And as you see, I circled yes. Of course, I'm a read my book and write in my book like I didn't write it. But it says, are you dealing with grief? I circled yes, of course. And you can also circle no if you are not dealing with the grief. If yes, how do you deal with your grief and is it healthy? And the next question says, if not, how do you comfort others if / when they are dealing with grief? So this book is not only for grievers, but people who can prepare themselves if they are around grief, or if they friends or family encounter grief, how to help them deal with their grief also. Okay. So now we're at chapter 1, y'all. And if you have my book, please follow along. If you don't, you know, it's okay. Just go ahead and order it right now. Thank you. Okay. The first chapter is Christina. She was bold, loud, extravagant, one of a kind, chocolate, unique, mother, sister, friend, daughter. I watched my mom go through things that you wouldn't think a little girl could and or should see. Christina was 15 years old when she got pregnant with me, and in 10th grade. She attended Howard High School. When my mom was in school, Howard was a predominantly black school. Their vision was to foster hustling tiger pride through empowerment, engagement, and positive relationships that prepare students to be college and career ready in a global society. Christina was the girl in high school. She was prom queen in 12th grade, and she was also a great track runner. I believe she would have gotten far in life with the sport, but when she got pregnant with me, things changed. The pregnancy caused her to mature quickly. She received track offers, but didn't accept them because she wanted to be an endearing mother to me. I wonder if she was witnessing things like people gossiping about her or judging her, but that didn't change the love she had for me. I am also grateful she chose to be my mother and how she always nurtured and comfort me and my siblings. When she was alive, I would sometimes think about whether she wanted to get an abortion or not when she found out she was pregnant with me, but I never got a chance to ask. Although she was always there for me and my siblings, she needed someone to be there for her. She had people in her life that was there for her, but I think she was looking for help from the wrong people. I love my mom. She could walk into a dead/quiet room and lighting it up. She was so genuine and sweet, and everyone loved her. Sometimes she would come pick us up early from school. Of course, I didn't have a problem. I didn't have an issue with that because I always wanted to leave school early. So I did not have to do some of the work my teachers assigned. Hey girl, she would yell. No matter who was in the school, my mama always spoke to everybody. The principal and the teachers would welcome her inside and make her... I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm stuttering, so I'm trying not to get emotional. And I'm trying to hurry up and read, y'all. So don't mind, like, if I'm stuttering or if I'm just making up words as I go. But I'm kind of getting emotional. I'm going to try not to, you know, do all that extra little stuff. Okay. The principal and the teachers would welcome her inside and make her feel like she was a part of the school. Her personality and energy put a positive light on any room she walked into. She was also welcome in the cafeteria because the cafeteria ladies loved her too. They would offer her a plate, and sometimes my mom would take it, depending on what food it was, because you know some school food is nasty. When people heard her voice, they would automatically go into a good mood. My mama was a good hustler and a good cheer coach. My brother played Little League football for the CYA 49ers while I cheered for them. And my brother's game, she would run with him while running a touchdown, even when she was pregnant. My mom was a cheer coach when I was around 7/8 years old. And let me just say, we had fun. From the cheers to the dances, everything was amazing. My cheermates and I used to look like little old school dancers whenever we had to dance. My mama loved old school dances. Whatever fundraiser we had, she showed up and showed out. She would walk inside the gas stations, barbershops, cars, and everything, making sure everybody supported us. She was the one person you would want to be at your fundraiser. One time we went to the game and she had all red hair. That was one of the football team colors, and it also matched our uniform. She loved wearing colors. She loved wearing different colors in her hair. Yes, I said colors with the S. She would wear the whole rainbow in her hair if she could. It showed who she was as a person, her creativity, her attitude, and her vibe. It was very symbolic and important to her. She didn't care what anybody had to say about her. She loved the type of person she was. People often say that I remind them of her because I change my hair so often, including styling and wearing it different colors. It is not because my mom did it, but because I like looking different and being different from everyone else. Maybe that was the desire she had too. I remember watching her iron my aunt's hair before they went out, and she was the beast. I really did not like my mom doing my hair because she always made it tight, but at least she made it look cute. She would brush down to my forehead to lay down my hair. She was so heavy-handed. Therefore, I was anxious every time she did my hair. She could have become a hairstylist and run her own salon. Instead, she went down a different path. I can remember a lot from a young age, especially the things that hurt me. I watched her get handcuffed, go to jail, get into fights, and cry. We used to live in an apartment complex called Buster Brown's. I have some great memories there and some not so great. I had my first sleepover with my cousins and friends. I remember my first whooping and everything. There were also times when I grieved, remembering and witnessing what I saw there. One time, I was upstairs playing with my toys, and all of a sudden, I heard my mom crying on the couch. I would walk downstairs and ask if she was okay. Of course, she would say yes to her child, and it hurts me to this day that I couldn't help her. Another time, I remember my mom and her boyfriend, parentheses at the time, were in the car. It was very late, and I was halfway to sleep. She was dropping him off at home, and I do remember they were fighting and her screaming, "Let me go, my child is right here, let me go." He was outside pulling her leg, trying to pull her out of the car. I couldn't do anything but scream. I felt defeated, helpless, and weak because I was not able to help my mom. There was another time when I was around 6 or 7. I was walking down the steps, and I saw my mom getting arrested. My aunt was on the couch while I was looking on the staircase. I had so many questions, but I was taught to stay in a child's place, so I did. So anyways, y'all, look at my beautiful mama. Beautiful. Anyways, y'all, so that's chapter 1 or whatever. And basically, chapter 1 is basically just like, telling y'all about my mother. The good and the bad, Yeah. Sister. If you remember, my mom had me when she was 16 years old. Then at the age of 19, my mom gave birth to my brother, Christian. I remember being in the hospital with her, watching her hold him. It was very sweet. After she had Christian, she gave birth to my younger brother, Cameron. I was 7 and Christian was 3. At that time, my mom was 23 years old with 3 kids. I didn't show any emotions when I found out I was having other siblings. I was happy, but I also felt unsure. I knew that my mom was not ready to take care of another child because of financial reasons. Once I was 8 years old in my church coach's house, when my mom told me she was pregnant with my sister, who is my 3rd sibling. We were at the swimming pool, and I saw my mama pulling up. I got into the car, and she says, "Guess what?" "Yes," I asked. She showed me the ultrasound. I just looked at her confused because I didn't know if I was happy or mad. I didn't want another brother. "How do you feel about this?" she questioned. This was the first time my mom asked me how I felt about having another brother or sister. Maybe she knew I was at the age where I could understand and that we could sit and talk to each other about things. I just hope it's a girl. I got what I hoped for. We were at home thinking of names right away when my mom announced it. I wanted her name to start with an S like mine, and so did my mother. "Sanaya," she said. "Ooh, I like that." When my sister came home after being born, she was so quiet and always slept. You would barely hear her cry. She was a peaceful baby. I dreamed so much about how I was going to do her hair, dress her up, feed her, teach her how to dance, and everything a big sister would want to do with her little sister. Unfortunately, God had other plans. She passed away due to SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, when she was only 6 weeks old. It was December 28th. I had been in Alabama with my dad's side of the family for Christmas. I was always with them for most of the holidays. It was not a bad thing. I just did not see them much on the regular. My dad could only be around when he had the chance. I did not fully understand at that age, but we would get there later. My family was spread out most of the time. My favorite aunts lived overseas due to her playing professional ball. My favorite cousins and my other aunt moved out of town, so I wanted to spend as much time with them on the holidays. I came back to Chattanooga and I felt something was wrong. My aunt dropped me off at my grandmother's house, which was odd. It was weird because nobody was there but me, my granny, and a friend of hers. They were sitting on the couch and I went inside the room. A few minutes later, my cousin came inside and we were playing a game. Why are you here? What's going on? I asked. Your sister died. You lying. I know you lying. Ain't no way, I said, worried. I entered the restroom and my grandmother walked in to get some tissue. I was curious about the statement my cousin made about my sister, so I asked, where is my sister? She walked out so fast, but I just thought she didn't hear me. A few hours later, my aunt picked me up and took me home. It was crowded. I automatically felt something was wrong when I went in the house, and my mom was in her room crying. I went to my room shaking because I was nervous. I didn't want to hear that my sister was gone. Ran, she's gone. Sanaya died, my mama said, crying. I started crying, but I was trying to comfort my mama at the same time. Seeing her cry made me stop crying because I believed the more I cried, the more she would cry. I found out my sister died right next to my mama, and I wonder if she was thinking, dang, am I a good mother if I let my child die right next to me? Did she choke and I didn't hear her? If I stayed up the entire night, would she be dead? I wonder what was going through her head and if she had anyone to talk to. All I know is that day, my mom's demeanor changed. After my sister died, I think she turned to drugs to help her cure. I didn't know what was going on with her because she wouldn't tell me and my brothers. As a kid, I certainly thought things would go downhill after my sister died because of how down she was all the time. I think she felt guilty, started getting depressed, and so she did whatever would make her feel better. She never did drugs in front of me, so I couldn't tell. It wasn't until she passed away that I knew she did drugs. A year came around, and my sister's birthday arrived. My mom had a boyfriend, and he was living with us. He was very generous and made sure we had necessities in the house. He would sneak my mama's flanner in my room so I could flanner my doll's hair, even when my mom said I couldn't. He really was cool, and I liked his kids too. During the anniversary of my sister's death, we were all at home celebrating her life, having a good time, eating and playing music. Later that night, my mama and her boyfriend got into an argument. I was in my mama's bed acting like I was asleep when she came in the room crying. How are you going to say you want to celebrate your daughter's birthday but you're still at home partying? You said you were going to go to the grave and we didn't. You should have gone if you felt some type of way, I heard him say. My mama was just crying. I wanted to get up and slap him so hard because he was being very inconsiderate. Don't tell my mama what to do when it comes to her child. If you see her crying, comfort her and do not scream at her. If you know she's going to have a bad day, if you know she's going to have a bad time on this day, then you should have been prepared for her to cry. She just ignored him and cried herself to sleep. I wanted to hold her so badly, but I didn't want her to know I heard the conversation because my mama didn't want us to see her cry, fight, or be sad. If you were living with my mama or close to her, you would know that my sister's death really triggered her and affected her more than ever. In fact, it changed everything. So, y'all, that was chapter 2. This is my little sister, Sanaya, y'all. Period, precious little baby. So, after that chapter, it is a question in a writing section. It says, have you ever lost a sibling or someone close to you? How did it affect you? And so, it just gives you writing space or whatever to, you know, let anything out. So you guys, that was chapter 1 and that was chapter 2. Make sure y'all go order the book because by the time I release chapter 3 and chapter 4, y'all need to have it so y'all can read it along with me. Cause it starts getting juicy. That was just the introduction. But it starts getting juicy, y'all. It starts getting juicy, sad. It make you happy. It make you cry. It make you laugh. All that. I have my own clothing brand. And everything will be in the description. Go check out my website, serenitydivine.org or whatever. I have a new drop coming Valentine's Day. Y'all will see this video before Valentine's Day. So, yeah. Make sure you go check my website out. Make sure you go follow us on Instagram, serenity.divine1. And yes, make sure you go shop. Because, yeah, Thank y'all for watching. Thank you so much. Make sure y'all comment Grief into Greatness. If you have any questions, you can comment, or you can go follow me on my Instagram, you know, DM me or whatever, Ran.the_Barbie. And if y'all also have like some input, y'all want to put some suggestions, y'all can also DM me, Ran.the_Barbie. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has supported me on my journey. Thank you to everyone who has purchased a book. Y'all are not just doing it for no reason or just to be buying stuff. This is actually, yeah, this is actually good, y'all. And like, wait, just get into the cover. Like, my idea of the person who did my cover, I told him and he made it happen. I see a sketch and I was like, this how I want it, and he made it happen, y'all. Like, this supposed to represent like the younger me. This supposed to represent me now. And y'all know me, I had cut my hair and I had my hair colored the same. Do we look like twins? So thank y'all for watching. I got too many hoes, but they ain't you. Like to put that shit in your nose.